Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome for this new episode of the United Series celebration. Woo! Team 143, yeah! I finally completed the 3 paintings, the prophecy collections. I completed my encyclopedia. It's printed. It's right here. It's printed. There is 1 copy. This is the original manuscript. So before I ship those paintings out, I'm not keeping any of them. First, because I'm planning on moving. So either if I'm getting the job of my dreams, I'm moving. If I'm not, I'm moving because I'm broke. So regardless, I'm moving. Completing all my projects, cleaning up, it feels good. It feels good to, for 3 years, 4 years, I had so many projects in my head. I had like all these masterminds to do, this book to write, all these paintings, ideas to complete, the Champagne partnership, all of that. Another oracle that I completed is available for free on my website, the Colors of Nature collection. So it was like working for free for 5 years, but building this foundation, and I was ready and things should go really fast. I was explaining to my grandpa, so I sold this painting, the one with the phoenix that I called the Rising Star, to my grandpa, to convince him, because I needed help and I needed money, and nobody wanted to give me money. My family, or absolutely not. So I called my grandpa, and first off, I was disappointed because I was like, why would he not help me and his grandkid? Like, I don't want to have this relationship. I don't want to have this grudges around my grandpa. I have a great relationship with my grandpa. I was his first granddaughter. I grew up with him. I'm the little favorite, and I'm like, I don't want to have this image of my grandpa who did not help me, So I call him and I'm like, I'm going to make it backwards, And I tell him, I'm like, Grandpa, I know you're the man of the situation. I got a deal for you. I am painting the greatest masterpiece in the history of the world, and I want you to have it. I'm going to sell it to you. And also, I've been struggling with looking for a job, and because I didn't come to America to deliver pizza. I've done it when I'm not delivering pizza, but I've worked in chocolate shop or stuff where don't have that big impact, right, in the world. I've done this when I was younger. I was like, I didn't come to America for the American dream to go work at Papa John's, I'm like, I want to work at the United Nations. I want to work at the White House. I want to write a book. I want to have huge impact. I want my paintings to be an amazing, have collectors, who are proud to have my art and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm not settling for mediocrity, I'm going for the grand stuff, but I need help to go to the finish line. And now it's going to go faster, but I need to tell your great grandkid, that grandpa didn't give up on us, that you were the man of the situation. He like ran to get his credit card. He was like, yeah. He ran to get his credit card and he bought the painting from me, And so I got him a nice frame, I'm going to write him a letter and send it to him. But it's all about how you present things, It's something that I've learned, and sometimes it's difficult to present when you're angry. I could have been like, I can't believe you're not even going to want to help us, blah, blah, blah. Then I was like, okay, I need to show that I'm working. I need to show that he's going to get something out of it, And then his girlfriend is a painter too. He's like, all right, but hey, when you get a job, then you're going to buy a painting from her, okay? I was like, all right, deal. But anyways, that was very interesting because this prophecy collection, it's so perfect because I was going to keep that painting And I was gonna send this one at the White House. I've told it in a previous video that the Pachacuti, the Andean trilogy, needs to be at the White House because the North America and the South America, right, the eagle and the condor coming together is the symbol that there will be peace in the world. And this is why now I want to unify, the politicians and the hippies together, so, and the engineering and the engineers and the scientists with, like, the hippie scientists, the spirituality, all of that, so we can change. The climate change is urgent action right now. I know there is new oil projects there in Alaska and things. There is the lobbies, the pressure of the lobbies. There's people who need jobs there, who thinks it's a great economic opportunity. But the thing is, the economy right now, and I'm talking about my own story, like literally I walk my talk, like nobody can tell me, that was easy, you put your economy first. No, I've put everybody else's first. I've put my mission, my vision first before my own economic situation, because I believe there is such an impact through the art. I believe there is such an impact in doing partnerships, in turning the society of competition into a society of collaboration. So I believe in this so much that when, people have to promote their own business. So you go to one side, they promote their own thing. And the social media team or the marketing team, if they go start promoting other people, the boss is going to be like, hey, who you promoting? But for me, I was like, I don't want to just promote myself. I want to promote everybody else, because if I promote you, all my audience is going to know about you. And if you promote me, then we reach more people. The message reach more people and stuff like that. So that was really something. And maybe this is why my journey was so difficult in finding partnerships, because my goal was to screaming to the rooftops that we need to work together, So this one is going to the White House, and this one to Billy Carson. Of course, he published a new version, the companion of the Emerald Tablets. And this one was literally an order, because I told him a few months ago or a year ago that I was going to get him a thought painting, and I had one with the logo, but I brought it to Egypt and the painting wanted to stay in Egypt. I was like, I'm going to go in Egypt, take a couple of pictures, send him the painting when I come back. But then there was the guide that took us to the Temple of Thought in Egypt, in Ashmonin, where no tourist had been for the past 25 years. It was extraordinary that coincidentally I met this guide that said, hey, we have a excursion going this weekend, it's never happened before, we're going to explore the Temple of Thought. I was like, what? Yeah, all right, I'm in, I'm going. And then I gave the painting to the guide, because the thought was like, no, I'm staying there, I'm staying in Egypt, I need to have a bridge, right? So when I got back, I made a bigger one with the entire tablet. And it's got the scarab that also looks almost like the logo of the United Nations. You have the swords with the DNA, it looks kind of like a sword. And you have some writings here in hieroglyphs, but you need to get my book if you want to study that and know what it means. Everything is in the book. So we get cool workshops and activities like that in the book. But yeah, so this one is the ancient Egypt, this one is the Peru, and this one is the ancestors. The fact that it was going to my grandfather was like, I'm healing the lineage, because the fact that, I turned the situation around and the relationship, like, I don't know, I felt like I unlocked something, when I talked to my grandfather, and now he calls me, he's like, okay, so are you looking, did you find a job, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna, because he's like, oh, if you get the painting, I want it signed by the American president. I was like, okay, I'm working on it. So yeah, you have the ancestors of all family ancestors, the past life ancestors, and then the civilizations ancestors as well. So it's like, an entire prophecy, and with all the work with the logos as well. You see the modern applications, right? That's what we have in the book. So here you have several logos from the military, and it's important to me to work with the military because we have our birds. You see, we have our birds here next to the condor, blue angels. Because if I go somewhere, I wanted to join the Space Force as an officer, and if I go there and I'm like, okay guys, we need to stop building those spaceships, they're gonna be like, no, who are you? I have to go higher. I have to go in the government, in the people who are at the table making the decisions. And like I was saying, for the oil, the environment now, there's no point of this. It's a point of no return. Okay, the economic factor has to go after the environmental factor. Okay, so because we're borrowing the land from our children, there is this native proverb that says, we don't inherit the land from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. So even if that would create job in Alaska, even if we need to still have oil to function and everything, it doesn't matter. We don't have a choice. We need to stop this project, and we need to put the environment first. It's not even a negotiation. We can't. The environment has to come first. Most of the kids have lung disease, lung coughing for months, stuff. I'm the first one who can witness it. I have pneumonia twice. It's bronchitis. The first time was a straight pneumonia. Last time was a bronchitis that was a taste of pneumonia. Seriously, that's very strange what's happening to our lungs right now, because the atmosphere is changing and the human genome is not changing as fast and adapting as fast as the atmosphere. And I don't want my DNA to adapt to a crappy atmosphere anyways. When you go to Colorado, oh my God, when you land in Durango, Colorado, and you go outside, you're like, what's weird? What's going on? It's like you're breathing for the first time. It's really weird, and you don't realize it if you're in the city. You feel normal, but when you go to the fresh air, you're like, oh my God, it's very strange. I feel like I'm breathing. The air is so pure. So the transition, okay, we're not going to be able to just stop the oil from a day to another and say no more. Okay, if we want a soft transition to still use our cars, still use our airplanes, not go totally, back to the ages of horses for 10 years until we have all the plants, we need to do a transition. But instead of investing new budgets in the oils, we need to invest that in the renewable energies. We don't have a choice. We have to. The electric, now the president, he's putting all the cars electric. That's perfect. Now we need to work at the source, the electrical plants, all renewable energy. Okay, so this is my the letter that I wrote to go to the White House with the painting, because I really feel like the painting, they have this great energy and power. They're like talisman, they mean a lot. And if you want to stand out when you're sending an application or a partnership proposal or something like this, they get hundreds of letters like this every day, so you want to stand out, you need to do something that's going to make them want to look at your application, look at your business, what you created, what are your ideas. So I'm not going to read the whole letter, but this is pretty much the my invasion plan, right? So in several points, and this is why also I'm doing this partnership with Rosa Picot, because my friend Natalia, she's from Russia, now they're in France, and they're coming to America, so it's very symbolic, of the partnerships. And this one, I love this one. I'm gonna make a special for these, but it reminds me of the Space Force logo with the colors and the space, and it's like a spaceship, the new kind of spaceships, right? They're gonna be diamond shaped. But symbolizing also the work, the huge work we have to do, with the Space Force and NASA, all these big producers, of engines and combustion. They use, when a rocket takes off, that's crazy. it's when you know you could have spaceships that just float like this without using any combustions, we have to put all our energy on that. So, world peace and safety, the safe removal of nuclear weapons. I talk about it in the book, but repetition is key, so I'm making another for that. So the transition from nuclear warfare strategy to nuclear removal strategy, safety. Yes, in the engineering schools, because when you read the Naval Postgraduate School curriculum, it's like welfare, nuclear warfare strategies, okay? This needs to be switched to nuclear removal safety. And then we need to work with all the embassies, with all the organizations, okay, to have this referential of all the nuclear plants, which we already know is like 13 nuclear weapons, also 13,000 nuclear weapons around the world, I think Antonio Guterres said in the United Nations speech. Modification of the Second Amendment of the Constitution, repertory of these nuclear weapons, and transition, also complete removal of the nuclear weapons. This is for the war and the peace, right? We need to remove that. Then for the environment, transitioning to renewable energy, make all the electric car become the norm. I would tax the oil industry 50% of their profit and reinvest into renewable energy plants, research and education for wind and solar sources and beyond. Build eco-friendly spaceships, organize partnerships between NASA, SpaceX, Space Force, Virgin Galactic, other massive spacecraft builders and scientists from the Resonance Science Foundation. I invented an anti-gravity formula for the NASA last year from that painting, Ministry of Sound. It all started from that. I'm not a politician. I was never into really renewable energies. Like, I'm pro, but I wasn't planning on doing my job for it. But I wake up one day, I have this anti-gravity formula, and since then it's like, guys, I have the formula. We need to make it happen, you know? And then I keep seeing all these debates and these necessity, people calling for help, and then the oil industry who's not stopping. And I'm like, who's doing it? Who's in charge of it? No one's doing it. I'm gonna do it. You know, someone's gotta go and do it, because the oil industry is a huge economy. How do you want to fight that? You need to have people go there inside and tell them, convince them, you know, to transition. So offer transition, curriculum, education, to redirect those people, right? They're not losing their job, they're redirecting into new jobs. So the only people who are going to lose a lot of money, they're the boss, right? The owners of the oil companies. But I don't think we have to worry too much about their wallet. So it's about relocating the resources. Then environment, saving trees and recycling plastic. I'm sure that we can, if we can recycle plastic into sunglasses and into any kind of other plastic, I'm sure we can make a paper that is a mix of tree and plastic, because the trees, we can't keep cutting trees or we get a limit. We have furnitures, we have beautiful tree furnitures, we have a lot on the planet, okay? Let's make them antique, let's make them special, let's stop building them, let's stop cutting trees and raise the prices for wood, okay? The wood furniture should be expensive because it's the oxygen. You know, I read one day we're gonna have to pay for oxygen. Yeah, we're gonna have to pay for oxygen. It's called, we're gonna raise the prices of furnitures, because if people want to buy wooden furnitures, they're taking from our oxygens and our kids' oxygen. So this is how you don't pay for oxygen. Okay, you pay a fine for taking the oxygen. That's what we're gonna do. And everything now is transparent. There is this new resin art, so we can, not saying completely stopping using trees, but we can already make a mix between paper and plastic. Imagine if you have these thin plastic books that are waterproof, super highly resistant, and they're made of plastic. So you're saving the environment, because we can't stop using plastic. Plastic is progress. Okay, plastic is progress. So there's some stuff we need to stop. In France, we're a decade ahead from America. A decade ago, 2 decades ago, I was what, 2 decades ago, in France, they stopped giving plastic bags at the supermarket. And from a day to another, you have to bring your own bag. So we have these giant bags of groceries. You bring 2 or 3, and all your groceries fit in there. You put in the fridge. Here in America, they give you a double plastic bag for eggs. Like, it's crazy. This needs to be stopped. Then there's some other stuff that we need plastic. For example, to keep the food in a supermarket. If you're buying some fresh food, some, I don't know, fresh sushi or any kind of like fresh stuff, plastic is revolutionary. It's changed completely our consumption, the waste of food, because it keeps stuff longer. So we still need the plastic. Okay, we need to focus on what's necessary and what's not, but then we need to learn to master how to recycle it. That's what we need. Teach the kids. I don't know how to recycle. In my recycling can, I put plastic, I put paper, I put cardboard, the wrappings, the foil paper, I'm not sure. I put it there, I put it not. I don't know how to recycle. Mostly I know it's plastic, but do I mix the cardboard with it? We need to be more educated with it. It seems logical, not for everybody. So the advertisement campaigns on TV, on YouTube, instead of having stupid ads for whatever crap you see, just make environmental educational ads. Okay, that you're listening to music. You're learning how to recycle. Did you know that recycling has to be, each item has to be free from bags, right? If they're in a bag, in a sealed bag, they don't recycle it because the bag stays stuck in their machine, and therefore they put it to the landfill. Okay, so you think you're recycling, you're all proud, you're recycling, you're putting your trash bag, and you're recycling, but you're not recycling because it's in a bag and they don't recycle that. So essentially you have to empty your trash bag in your recycling can, so it's actually recycled. Did you know that? I didn't know that. I learned it recently. Okay, so all this year I thought I was recycling, but I wasn't. So education. And then we need to have a compost trash can. When you have normal trash, plastic, glass, compost, so we can recycle and make our own gardens, have our own soils. Then national legalization of marijuana and coverage by healthcare, hopefully, because really, for weight loss, digestion, depression, creativity, for me, when I smoke, when I used to, I don't know, my body, I don't want it anymore because I cough so much, because I started really young. But for an adult, I'm not saying you start smoking when you're 16, but for an adult, and mostly mothers, like when you have high level of stress and anxiety, I've never had an anxiety attack in my life before I had a child. Seriously, I could be stressed, angry, whatever. I never knew. When people were telling me I have anxiety attack, I was like, okay, whatever, When you have a child, the level of stress is just like no other for me. And now I can't really smoke because if I cough so much, my lungs are already, but it helps. It really helps. And having those, I think it's great to have this champagne aroma, because there's no THC in it, no CBD, no THC, it's just the aroma. So to introduce the taste, okay, get people kind of used to it, it's a good idea. Then of course there is all the culture and economy, create more Waldorf school where children, they learn from interacting with nature. And I think culture is really disappearing because of the big corporations' monopoly. People, they want cheap, they don't want to invest into each other. They're okay to take, but they're not okay to give. I don't know, it's like we need to step up. We need to really step up for each other. When someone helps you, help them back, and not not be half-ass help, like really do it. It takes about 3 years and $50,000 to launch a decent foundation for a business. We're not all equal on the market, so we must balance our resources so the wealthy can sponsor those who work hard for peanuts and yet are just as valuable. We need to create a universal income for single mothers, because all my business, I probably would have created the same exact thing, but with less stress if I had an income, more joy, less stress. But at least it's good, because now I understand what people feel like when they don't have help, when they don't have resources. I can relate. But nobody should experience this kind of stress. Nobody should experience that. We should all have this universal income to know that you can buy food at the end of the month, you can launch your business and live decently. So it's hard in a country like America where there's so many people. It's not like in France, it's a small country. But we need to find a way. Like taxing the oil companies, for example. And the millionaires and the billionaires, okay, and redistribute it to single moms, because children, they're the new world, okay. It's a job to be a mother, mostly if you don't have someone to support you. I'm struggling, and I'm the luckiest of all the single moms I know, because at least I have a house. Most of the single moms I know, they don't even have a house. Nobody supports them, their parents, their family. That's a full-time job to raise a child. It really is. And even right now, I'm focusing on my business, but I'm neglecting my son. I play with him every day. We do stuff, but it's not enough. It's not enough. He deserves me to do activities with him every day. Sit down next to him. Go out for hours at the park. Go to the beach, a full day out. They need to do what they can do by themselves. They can't be driving. Then the other stuff, economy, electricity and water should be free for everybody, up to a certain ratio, of course, not to be over-consuming, but the interest rates and mortgage rates, they should be the same for everybody. So maybe I need to have a conversation with an economist to explain to me, because I'm not a specialist, but one thing I could never understand is why, when I go to the dentist, there is a price for the people who have insurance, and there is a price for people who don't have insurance, regardless of if they're covered or not, right? What? The service, the treatment is not the same, like if you have coverage or if not. Or when you go buy your car, if you have good credit, you have a great interest rate. If you have bad credit, you have the worst interest rate, or even they won't even let you have a car. This should be the opposite. How do you get out of the cycle? If you're already broke and you get the highest interest rate because you have bad credit, how do you get out of this cycle? It should be the opposite. If you can pay, you have the high interest rate, and not even. It should be the same for everybody. Everybody should have the best interest rate possible at the moment. Everybody. There's no reason. This is just playing with our stress level. This is playing with the population, with our rights, with our basic fundamental rights. It's crazy. Yeah. And so how do we do all that? Through team building workshops. Woo! Because I said it the other day, when you're in a meeting like that, sometimes there's things you forget. You have a conversation, you take notes, you listen, you speak, and then the day after you think of something and you're like, oh man, yeah, I should have said that. Oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah, wait. Then it's hard to reach out to other people. So by doing a full week mastermind, having an organization, okay, we're organizing a team building. There are 2 teams that are going to gather for this event. It's a whole week, and we're painting some themes, some specific logos, themes, color or topics, whatever we decide prior. and we're painting, so we're having a good time. It's a relaxing, it's kind of like a week off, for the people, but we're bringing some topics to the table that move the needle, right? And the day after, oh, by the way, we forgot to talk about that. Yeah, let's, at the end of the week, we're not just business partners, we're friends, we're family, we have a common vision, a common project that we built together, we have a vision board that we created that we need to implement. It's not just, oh, I have a meeting this day with this oil company, and they're doing their speech, I'm doing my speech, yeah, go green, and they're like, yeah, no, economy, blah, 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 and then still the same. No, we get to learn to each other, and for a whole week we're stuck together, so they're gonna get to learn my point, I'm gonna get to learn their point, and we're gonna have to bring solutions to each other, okay? And we're not getting out of this place until we found a common agreement and a solution, so we're at the point that we have to do that. We don't have a choice. Okay, so that was my little video presentation for my job application to the White House. Thank you for following the journey. I have applied to so many jobs. Guys, I'm proud of myself. I took so many risks for my family. I hate myself some days for taking so many risks because, I should play it safe more often. But at the same time, I'm proud of all these paintings. You know how long it takes for me to make a painting like that? They look simple, but these 3 paintings I started 6 months ago. I started last summer, I think. Last summer I started more than 6 months it took me while I was writing, and it's all the energy and the people that gathered. So I want to thank you if you're watching also for being a part of the journey. If Joe Biden, if you're watching, I hope to work with you soon. The masterminds who trained me, and I've learned from them so much, all of these years. Billy Carson, of course, I feel like we wrote this book together, literally, because we share this vision, the tablets of Emerald, you live it, you experience it. It's not a book that you read, it's a book you experience. And my encyclopedia is the same. It's like you experience the things, maybe there's some bad things, maybe there's some good things, but there's some things that happened in my life I never thought I would have to deal with that. And then I realized that I wasn't the only one. There was so many other people and family who were experiencing it as well. And I was like, oh, this is why I have to talk about it, because if it was just me, nobody cares. But maybe there's other people who don't dare to talk about it, and they're stuck, and they need to see all the journey, and you finally can go through. So yeah, to finally be, applying for these jobs and never give up, and they keep telling me to go higher. So after the White House, I don't know where to go after. It's gonna see me flying on a rainbow. But anyways, I wanted to read a card from the Isis Oracle. I'm talking a lot about symbols as well, and how this knowledge has been hidden for a long time, and because people were scared of it, it can be scary. The energy, it is a real thing. It is. And sometimes, when you're trying to change things, you have a lot of resistance. I stopped posting pictures of my son because I feel like nothing happens to me, but when I'm confronting topics and ideas, it's not directed to me, it's directed to my animals. It's because I feel protected, but it ripples into my child and my animals. So I'm gonna preserve them a little bit more in manifest, really. So maybe it's my own anxiety, I don't know. But it is real, and it can scare people, and it's been hidden for many years. And even Isis, which is the goddess of love, of the women, of the sacred feminine, now there is a terrorist group called ISIS, so this has damaged the reputation, the image, the name, okay? And so when you say ISIS, they're like, oh, the terrorist group. No, the goddess. So because today I think it's Islamophobia Awareness Day, right? And in France, oh my God, the Arabs, at least when I grew up, the Arabs, they were the black sheep of France, right? And now it's more the Syrians and all the immigrants, right? So, oh, they're begging at the traffic light. You know, imagine you have a life and you have to be a refugee and you go to another country to end up begging at the traffic light. This is horrible. It's horrible. So I want to send some thoughts too, because we were talking a lot about Ukraine and Turkey and Syria when it happened, and now it's starting to, you know, a month later, we're not forgetting. We're still thinking about it. We're still trying to help. You know, there's still work to do for peace, for the environment, for helping each other. Okay, so I pulled that card last night before I went to bed. I pulled the card and the Key of Life. I didn't read it. I was like, I'm gonna wait to read it during the video. So she's in a portal. She has a key. And it's almost like a time portal, you see? Okay, let's read. By Alana Fairchild. She's one of my favorite Oracle cards authors. Key of Life. Spinning the Ankh. The Key of Life. Key of Life. The Key of Life is the mysterious Ankh, the looped cross held in the hand of Isis. This mystery is opening to you now. The Ankh portends new life being born through you. It could be in a creative sense or in a physical sense, in terms of health, or even a child that wishes to be born, or a new project that needs to be created in service to humanity. This new life being born in whatever form will enrich your life, bringing you more into wholeness and fulfillment. Let it happen. The end comes as a blessing and confirmation that new life is seeking to express itself through you now, an encouragement that you allow this to occur. Something has started to be born through you at this time. See it through, beloved. Don't let it struggle to survive from lack of attention or care, or believe that it will not be enough in any way, or it will be too hard to handle once it is created. The Ankh says that life will prevail and your creation will come to pass. Do not give up on your creative destiny. Stay with it. You are flowing in the right direction and you have spiritual support from the unseen worlds. If you are unsure of what your creative destiny may be or unaware of the exact nature of the new life being born through you now, remember that sometimes the creation will be a project or object, a relationship or new human life. Sometimes it's even a new way of thinking that is wise and heart-centered and will be available for others to draw nourishment from as an alternative to more destructive and addictive thought patterns which humans can struggle with from time to time. There is one creative process common to all of humanity, and that is the birthing of the soul light into form. Yeah, you're growing spiritually. Let me read the incantation. Cross of life, cross of light, protects me through darkness plight. Held within the Isis womb, new melody of my soul tune, safely held in the loop unbroken, till it is time for new life to break open. Yeah, that's new melody. You know, that makes me think of Elizabeth Oxtra. You know, her book, the Recipe for Elevated Consciousness. And she posted a new newsletter this morning, and she says your hard beginnings don't have to be a sentence for life, you know. And it really is difficult to go through, but the journey can be difficult. Like I said, it can take 3-5 years, $50,000 to create a business. You know, you need to be resourceful, you need to be patient, you need to go through small steps. But in the end, my mentors, they always say, yeah, there's not a lot of competition because there's not a lot of people that is willing to do all of that, you know. But yet we must because the world, the kids, they need us. All right, so I'm going outside with the kiddos. Thank you for watching. I hope that this is the beginning of working together for real, not just in spirit, but materializing. For me, it's an end and a beginning. That depends on you guys. Honestly, I gave all I've got, all my energy, my time, my money. I'm completing all this. I'm so proud and grateful. And let's see what the new beginnings, who is excited to work with me and to give me the honor. I'd be honored also to work at the White House, to work with all these organizations, publishing through Forbidden Knowledge, going to do team buildings with the Navy, working with oil companies for the transition, bringing scientists and experts and NASA, all of that. I would be honored. I have all the energy in the world, but now it depends on you. You can knock at the door all you want. If the person on the other side is not willing to open it, there's no way. There's no path unless you take a bulldozer, and you're just like, I'm here, guys. Or the horse of Troy, right? That's what I'm doing at the White House. I'm invading the White House. I'm sending a painting and my suitcase with it. What? So, before I send out these paintings, one more look at this beautiful frame that I found. So perfect.
Where's my other slipper?
Your other slippers? I don't know. I got this beautiful gold. Say hi, Esteban. So if it was for my house, I would have gotten this very simple wooden frame, green, blue, and beige. They would have been the same frame. But the frame was chosen for where it's going. Okay, because at the White House, it's all gold. All the frames are gold. So this one is like the condor spirit. Beautiful gold frame. The other one for my grandpa. And that, the real author of my book that was writing through me this whole time. And it's crazy because when I was writing the book, I was shape-shifting with thought. I could see him writing the tablets. I was writing the tablets at the same time. It's like, yeah, shape-shifting. There's no other words. I was writing and I could see him in his cave there, like writing his tablets, and I was like, we're writing at the same time. He wrote it for now, all eras, but when I read the tablets, I feel like I'm reading our stories. That's crazy. And yeah, really magical. So I hope you will get the book. It's available for free now, but I hope we get to publish it soon and that you will really read it and in 10 years from now, reread it again or refer to it often, but I'm sure we're going to read some stuff and be like, wow, that's crazy. I can't believe it. I can't, Anyways, yeah, have a great day, everybody.